Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Women's Soccer Show. I'm Sarah.
And I'm Allie.
And we've got a lot today. The WSL has come to a close, or the WSL won, shall I say. Some foreshadowing, because the Barclays WSL, it got a rebrand, and the championship certainly did. We're going to talk about that because people are not happy about it. Of course, we're going to preview the FA Cup final, which is upcoming. That'll be Sunday, May 18th. That's right, this Sunday. And of course, we are going to get into all things NWSL, including an interview from Bay FC's rookie Taylor Huff. We're going to kick it off with the WSL, but we can't kick it off by just talking about the final weekend of the WSL that has come to a conclusion. 24-25 season is done. I always get sad when this happens because what happened on Monday morning, Allie? Barclays WSL took the internet by storm.
Well, it actually happened Sunday night. Let's get some context. Basically, what happened was they teased something Sunday night about 10 o'clock UK time. And then the detectives that are on the internet found the Rebrand logos that had been registered with the trade organizations over here and leaked them before the official Rebrand. So the teaser got taken down, it got deleted. So everybody already had opinions, and then the official Rebrand got launched on Monday morning. To not great reviews, I have to say. I haven't seen anything positive.
This really feels like Boss Nation all over again, but
it's
for England.
Worse. It's worse than Boss Nation, because at least that was one team. This is two leagues.
This is England's version of Boss Nation, though, because for those of you who didn't see, if you go to the Barclays WSL Instagram or just Google Barclays WSL if you don't have Instagram, you're going to see this. And what happened was, first of all, they did a full rebrand in terms of the image, the colors, and all of that. So it's no longer that dark, deep, bluish with the red on top. It's got like purple. Anyways, I'm not going to try to describe it.
It's the lesbian flag is what it is.
It might be, yeah. Which, by the way, I'm not upset about that. And in this big announcement, the biggest part was not just the fact that it's got a new look, but it was also the fact that instead of having the WSL and the Championship, which is the second division, they have now rebranded to the WSL and WSL2. And Allie is like deeply, deeply upset about this. As somebody from the US, I don't feel this in my soul like you do. So this is really, because I went to the comments, Allie, and I am laughing. I was laughing so hard.
People hate it. And I'll tell you for why. So first off, WSL 2 is what the championship used to be called back in 2018. And they rebranded it, the championship, to align it with the men's. That's why they did it. But to go back to WSL2 and now, it feels like that it's lesser. That's what it's coming across as, that WSL2 is not as important anymore. It's number 2. It's, over here we have Premier League 2, and that's where we put our youth teams. And it's giving the same vibe, even though it's not. That's what, because of the English connotation. Can I just say, you can tell that WPLL is not run by an English person.
I was just going to say, I know you're sitting there being like, this is giving North America.
It's giving so badly North America. It's untrue. But it's making that league feel lesser. I saw somebody, Nottingham Forest fan, who said, we've just been promoted into a farmers league now? Like, people are mad. People are pissed.
Some of these comments, Allie. Better refs? Nope. Goal line technology or VAR? Nope. So what can we do to improve this great league then? Well, we'll rename the championship and create a new logo on Microsoft Paint for you.
Yeah. And also, I have to say that somebody put up a picture being like how the WPLL came up with the logo, and it was all like different images from word art from like the early 2000s.
It kind of looks like that.
And then Kasparari of Man City has re-liked it and reposted it on her TikTok.
That's so funny. That's so funny.
Yeah, it's not gone down well. Um,
I'm gonna read a couple more of these. Ew to the name change, double ew to the logo change. There's still time to go back before too many people see this. Lots of people on here being like, there's a lot of things we needed before we needed this, basically, is the vibe. I'm not gonna lie. This is insane, WTF. I'm sorry. Nobody in this comment section likes it.
because it makes no sense. First off, they are basically I get what they were trying for, because they tried to make it as like interconnecting logos and that they're all one thing, but it makes them indistinguishable. You go on the social medias now, you can't tell which one you're looking at unless you see the two. Like,
oh, I thought that they made everything one logo.
yeah, and that's the problem.
I'm not gonna lie, the audio on it also was, it felt like I was watching a promo for the NWSL. That's what it was feeling like to me. But I'm not gonna, not that that's a, I'm not saying that that's, I'm not trying to trash it by saying it was NWSL vibes. I have to say, for the reasons that you said, like it's very not English, it doesn't align, like what's wrong with calling it the championship? I agree with you. Upon first watching it, I kind of liked it.
No.
I think it's wrong. I would rather it be called a championship, but I just have to say, upon first watching it, I was like, ooh.
It's not even that. That's like the low on the totem pole problems I have with this.
Oh, really? That seems to be everybody's main problem.
No, my big problem with this, and the comment I wrote in our notes, is what in the actual hell is this? The advert makes no sense. If you look at the advert, it looks like they're advertising Coachella or Glastonbury. It doesn't look like they're advertising a serious football league. It looks like the artwork's been done by AI, because there's a bit where they've got like posted being like, my other boots are boots. I think you meant to put football boots in there, but you forgot the word football, because it looks like it's been AI generated. It looks cheap. It looks terrible. There was another thing where they got like the wristbands and stuff like that. It makes it look like they're advertising a festival. And it's girly and it's non-serious and it's all about
You're not wrong about the festival. I'm kind of scrolling through some of this now and I'm like, wow, that does give festival vibes.
It's giving you like it's giving it non-serious. And I think a lot of people's big problem with it is, first off, the logo. How many times have we fallen in the trap when you search WSL and you get the World Surf League, and now they've got what looks like a wave, so it makes it even more like the World Surf League.
Well, I never search just WSL for that reason. I still search FAWSL because despite their best efforts, trying to make it BWSL will simply never happen.
So you have all of that nonsense with it going on, and I just want to read a quote which Nikki Doucette, who's the chairman and owner of the WPLL, who have taken over the top two divisions in UK football, has said, and this is where I really hate it, and this quote sums up why I hate it so much. She was talking about the different kinds of football fans there are in the UK, and she was talking about the hardcore football fans who came from the men's game and the family-friendly people. And then you goes, and in the middle, you have the fan that's come in through the Lionesses, untethered to the men's game. They are not tribal. They are learning about us. They're trying to find highlights. They love the players, and that's the biggest group that the football ecosystem doesn't know enough about. That's your Taylor Swift fan base.
Well, I don't understand the reference to Taylor Swift there. Oh, this poor girl's name gets dragged into everything. Can we leave her out of this?
What she means is it's what we over here are calling the football girlies, where they haven't got a team, but they like Chloe Kelly. So they'll follow Chloe Kelly from Man City over to Arsenal. And then if she leaves Arsenal and goes to Man United, and
I'm just going to call this out. There's a lot of misogyny dripping in that alley. Who cares if people get attached to a player? Like, I will tell you, most people who found the NWSL here found it through the US Women's National Team.
Because but then they've picked a team. We're saying, it's not about misogyny. What we're saying is we want, and I've seen this from multiple fans of the game, is we don't care if that's how you found your team. You want to do that, go nuts. That's not what we want our league based on. If you want to travel to different teams and stuff like that, you do that. Have fun with that. What we want is we want rivalries. We want proper away ends. We want proper we want the tribalism. We want
But you already have that. So
But we
what's
don't.
wrong with bringing
That's
in...
the problem. We don't. Because everything at the moment, it's being undone. It's being undone and being made family friendly and safe. And they are trying to unpick rivalries. And it's become this whole thing of like, and there are so many...
Are they doing that to try to separate women from the women's team from the men's team?
I guess, probably. And some people like it, some people don't. A lot of football. But it makes it seem like the league is unserious.
I still don't take any issue in these fans being a part of it. Because
No,
also what's going to happen...
These fans. No, that's not what I'm saying. This is... You asked what she meant by Taylor fan base. I'm explaining what she meant by Taylor Swift. I don't care about those fans. They want to do that. Great.
For anybody listening, I don't care how you got into the game. I don't care if you follow players instead of teams. I don't take issue with that because I also feel like I don't mind if you have player allegiances over team allegiances. If you're going to games, if you're following the league, have at it. I don't give a flying F. And also from that, you're probably going to start to lean more heavily into certain teams after a certain amount of time. So I think that there's a big part of England that probably has a problem with that. I can understand how that has become an issue because you guys are so like, we pick a team and we die for that team. But we're just like, hey, if you love soccer and you go to games, that's awesome. And I do think that there's a lot of like the patriarchy in the like hating on those soccer girlies. And I personally don't love that.
And like I said, I don't care. You wanted me to define what she meant by Taylor Swift fan base. That is what she meant.
Okay.
I saw a great tweet where somebody said, it was some of the things of like, things they should have focused on and haven't. Pathways for Black and Asian players to get into main league football. That should have been a priority. We're not seeing anything like that. Goal line technology and VAR, that should have been a priority. We're not seeing that. Improvement in reffing standards, because week in and week out we have complained about the level of reffing standards. That's not being done. What the big money seems to have been pumped into is this rebrand ad campaign, which makes it all soft and fluffy, and people don't want that. There is so much more we want for the women's game, and that is not it. And that's it. It feels like it's making a mockery of the game, because it's, like I said, it looks like a festival. It looks like it doesn't feel like they've taken it seriously. And I would love to know what WPLL have actually done, because everything so far that's come out of them has been a flop. Because they seem to be throwing stuff on the wall and seeing what sticks, and none of it is, because they throw out, let's pause relegation, and everybody went, no, and they went, oh no, we're not going to do that. What about if we let WSL teams put their B teams in lower tiers? No, we don't want that. No, we won't do that then. What if we do this thing? No, we don't want that. Then we won't do that. Like, they don't seem to have a grip on what people actually want, and it's super simple. And Nikki Doucette, if you are listening, I will spell it out to you. This is what people actually want. We want the WSL to expand. We want what I'm going to call it the Championship for now to expand, and we want investment in that expansion. That is what English football fans want. They don't want any of this, whatever this is.
Let's get into the final weekend of the WSL. What a weekend. We kind of set everything up. We kind of set the scene last week, but officially, of course, we know Chelsea are champions. We talked about that last week. They finished this league undefeated. Undefeated. 0 losses, 19 wins, 3 draws, 0 losses, Allie.
And they finished it the way they've played most of it, which is they got a last-minute goal. I made that stat a few weeks ago, and it's proved true that they've scored more winning goals in like 90-plus minutes this season. And Aggie Beaver-Jones got a goal in the 94th minute.
91st, but hey, 91st, it's all the same.
Yeah.
It's all the same. Arsenal took down Manchester United. This was the one we had really circled because this was vying for second place.
This game was stupid. This game was ridiculous.
In what way do you mean that?
So if anybody didn't see it, right? So first off, Arsenal go up within the first 2 minutes due to an error at the back Chloe Kelly pounced on.
I believe it was one of the fastest WSL goals in history.
It's the fastest goal at the Emirates, I believe.
There it is, yeah.
Was the record. And then Ella Toon evens it up, and you think, yeah, that's fine. And then Arsenal go on a rampage and make it 4-1. And you're like, Man United, what has happened to you? Like, And then it ends 4-3. So you then go, Arsenal, what happened to you? Because I know Arsenal fans were not happy with the fact that they threw away. I mean, they managed to hold on, but they could have not.
There was some pretty shoddy defense by Arsenal in this game. I mean, well, by both sides, let's just say that. 2 penalty kicks, both were tucked away. What a wild ending. Arsenal will have the easier way to the Champions League next year, whether they win the Champions League final or not. Now that they've won second place over United will really have to play in, and that matters.
Yeah, that's huge, because obviously we talk about game management all the time. We talk about, pacing and stuff like that, and Man United have still quite a small squad, so it'll be interesting to see how they manage to do that next season. Speaking of Manchester clubs, the big question is now with Manchester City and what happens next. Nick Cushing gave an interview just before the game against Crystal Palace, who said, I'm not in conversation. We're not having a conversation at the moment about me continuing. That obviously may change, but
I would be shocked if they hired him as the full-time coach. What has he done to prove that he should be hired?
No, exactly. I don't think he deserves the job at all, but I'm just saying that before people think it's a given, it's not. Speaking of Crystal Palace, their manager that was there for about 4 months has left. He has decided that he wants to step away, so that it will allow them to do a complete rebuild. I feel like what a waste of an appointment that was, because again, he didn't really do anything. You might as well have allowed their previous manager to try and build on some momentum. But that's what that is. So that was interesting to see what's going to happen there.
Yeah, City is really one of the biggest questions coming out of this season. There's a lot here. I mean, so City finished in 4th. Ironically, they actually ended up finishing just 1 point shy of 3rd place, but no Champions League for Manchester City. Brighton finished in 5th, and Aston Villa somehow scraped their way into 6th place on just over Liverpool on goal differential, really, is what it was. Oh my God. Okay. Aston Villa. We have to talk about them for a second and what is going to happen. Jordan Nobbs announced that she is departing from Aston Villa. Not my spidey senses. I'm just like, the moment I saw that, I was like, if I'm Jordan Nobbs, I'm going right to London City. What do you think?
If they'd have her. Now, the thing is,
if I'm London City, I will have her. You can be a bench player. You can bring leadership. Really?
I wouldn't. I think she needs to step down a level, if anything. I wouldn't, because the thing is, London City, and we heard it when we played that clip last week on our show, Michelle Kang said that she wants to go in straight away as at least a mid-level WSL team. Jordan Nobbs is fantastic. I love her as a player. But she's on the end of her career now. And she's going to want some big money. Because she will have been on decent money at Villa, she will have been at decent money at Arsenal.
I don't think money's a problem for Michelle King.
Yeah, but are you going to want? But there are spending caps in the WSL. Are you going to want to spend a good chunk of your budget on a player that may only play 30 minutes here, 30 minutes there, and become the Kristen Press of London City? No, because you've already got players for that. You've got your Aslanis, you've got your Jakobsens that are already there and fighting fit. I think Jordan Nobbs want to go to London City. Would London City have Jordan? I don't think so.
I think they'd be smart to take somebody like Jordan Nobbs. This is the team's first time in the WSL, and it's not. While they did bring in experience, they didn't bring in a ton of experience from the WSL. They have players who played in top leagues around the world, but not the WSL. Jordan Nobbs isn't that old. She's 32. It's not like we're talking about a 39-year-old right now. She's still got some in her. I think it would be a smart move. But hey, I guess we will see. Brighton, I also want to chat about quickly, because Brighton had a great offseason. They brought in so much talent. And this is a really big moment for a team like Brighton. Can they keep the talent and can they build on it?
I was going to say, this is it, because you said, can they build on and kick on? Here's what I hope will happen. Here's what I think will happen, because this is what happens with every team that finishes below 4th, is bigger teams see the best star little players and will pick them off bit by bit, and that makes those teams have to rebuild again. We've already seen that they have got rid of a fair few big name players. So we've seen that Pauline Bramer is no longer with Brighton. Poppy Patterson, who has been their young talent, did not renew or was not renewed in her contract. There's Dottier, who came from Man United, has not renewed or been asked to stay on after 2 seasons at Brighton. So we've already seen the end of contract players gone. Are we going to see, for example, their top Japanese talent? Is she going to get picked off by a Manchester United, a Man City? We've seen, luckily for them, I would say that Nikita Paris and Fran Kirby have been there, done that, and are more likely to stay at Brighton, I would say, are less likely to get their heads swayed by a move up, because obviously Nikita Paris came from Man United, Fran Kirby came from Chelsea. So that's great for Brighton there. But I am a little concerned that they will get picked up. I'm concerned about any team that has a bright talent that finishes below fourth, because we can talk about Liverpool and Olivia Smith. Technically, she's on a 2-year contract. That doesn't stop Manchester City flashing some cash and picking her off, and that scares, and it annoys me, and it scares me, and it saddens me.
I do think Brighton are well positioned for the exact reason that you just said, where everybody's going to want to play with somebody like Fran Kirby, and she's likely to stay. So that really bodes well for them to be able to say, hey, some of our top talent, they're not going anywhere. Let's go build something. I think it's great.
I hope they do. I genuinely hope they do.
Moving it out of the WSL, we're going all the way down to the 3rd division. We're going to talk Wolves really quickly. Allie, brief reminder for everybody of what happened with Wolverhampton, and now what is the update?
So, as many people will know, and if you check out our Patreon, I have a much bigger in-depth chat on there, but basically, Wolverhampton Wolves were in the Northern League, were fighting for promotion into the Championship, took it to the final day against Nottingham Forest. Nottingham Forest clinched it and are being promoted. However, the players were informed after the final game it was all for nothing, because even if they had clinched it, they weren't getting promoted because their team hadn't filed the paperwork, because the men's team were in trouble. The men's team are no longer in trouble, but they never told the players that they hadn't put in for promotion. So they had a meeting with the players a couple of weeks ago. They've now released a public, let's be honest, a nothing statement. Like, I read it and there was very little in there.
These statements never have any substance.
No, but basically what Jeff Shee said is that he understands where they went wrong. There's no public apology. And they support the women's team, and they will, as a minimum, apply for promotion every year.
Oh, gee, thanks.
if they are in that similar position.
This is when people say the
bar is already very low.
The bar is on the floor. Thank you.
Yeah.
My God, words are good for me today. Obviously,
the bar is on the floor. And also, can we believe him? Because they led their players to believe that they were fighting for promotion last season.
I don't believe anything out of this man's mouth. Are you kidding me?
No. So that's the update, is that he's basically said, I will support them next season, but will there be a team to support? Because frankly, I see a mass exodus leaving Wolves.
That was the equivalent of being like, I support women. I have a mom.
Oh, yeah, them ones.
Before we move out of the England space, we have to talk about the FA Cup final, because yes, the WSL is done, but that doesn't mean we're done watching WSL teams, because we've got the FA Cup final this weekend. Huge. Another chance for Chelsea to add to the hardware that they've already got this season. And United, this has been a good game for them.
It is a good game for them. So they've never beaten them in the league. However, they did knock Chelsea out of the FA Cup last year in the semi-finals, and then went on to beat Spurs to win the FA Cup.
They were close this year to beating Chelsea in the league, but they didn't.
They were so close. It was so close. Like, the last game that they played was uber close, and literally it was a Lucy Bronze header that saved all the difference. This is going to be a cracking game. I am so excited for this, because them two teams going at each other is always a fun one. And you know that, having spoken to a couple of people, that the Manchester United players are up for it, because they felt they were hard done by when they last played Chelsea in an FA Cup final, which was 2 seasons ago. A goal by Leo Galton was ruled either incorrectly or correctly offside, depending on your viewpoint, which changed everything. They are the defending champions of the FA Cup. Chelsea obviously want to do the domestic treble since the quad is out of the equation.
Fun fact, this would be the first time somebody's done it since the 2020-2021 season, which was also Chelsea. And we believe, through some thorough research, right, Allie, that the team before that was Chelsea in the 06-07 season. I don't know though. I think this might be United.
I honestly would back Man United over Chelsea, and that's not my Chelsea bias before people start. I just feel like they're hungry for silverware.
I think so too.
Because they've only just scraped into Champions League. They will, like I said, feel hard done by from the previous meetups with Chelsea. So I think they're going to go in all guns blazing.
I think so too.
That's it.
Well, we'll find out this Sunday. Let's go around the world. Around the world, around the world.
To France, and your 2 championship finalists have been decided. Quelle surprise, it's Lyon and PSG. They will face off for the title on the 16th of May, and they will decide your championship.
To Spain, Barcelona are officially your La Liga champions. The Catalonian side beat Real Betis 9-0 to claim the title. Both Real and Atletico Madrid have clinched the last 2 Champions League spots for next season.
And to Scotland, and Rangers come one step closer to the title after their win against Celtic this weekend. Hibs could only manage a draw with Glasgow City, which has closed the gap to just 3 points with 2 games to go.
And to the NWSL to close it out. We've got a lot of discussion points here. We're getting into Angel City, Savvy King, Christian Press of it all. But before we do, this is going to be fun because I think this is going to be a surprise for Allie. This made me laugh so hard. Social media has been awful, but this cracked me up. So Boston obviously renamed their team Boston Legacy FC, right, Allie? And for short, that's BLFC. They have started posting and tagging photos like hashtag BLFC. And somebody, I guess, Googled BLFC and learned that BLFC is actually a furry convention. It stands for Biggest Little Furry Convention. It is hosted in Reno, Nevada, once a year. It is literally the first hit you get if you Google BLFC on Google.
I will never complain about the World Surf League ever again. Oh, Boston, you have no luck.
It's so funny.
Oh,
it's so
Boston.
Funny.
You should have just gone back to the Breakers.
It's too much. It's okay. I hope that made everybody smile and laugh because it's just hilarious. Poor Boston. All right, so let's move from that into we talked about Angel City last week, and we still have to stay on them. We're going to get into the Christian Press of it all, but first and foremost, there was a very scary moment on Friday's game. Angel City were playing that Friday night, and Savvy King, it's just her second year in the league. She was a rookie at Bay FC last year. She's from the LA area. She's now playing an Angel City for her first year at Angel City this year, and she collapsed on the field and needed CPR. And per the NWSL, she's in stable condition. It was a terrifying moment for players, for fans, for everybody. And the game continued when she was taken off the field. And a lot of fans are saying that the game should have been called right then and there. For context, Savvy King went down in the 74th minute. And per NWSL rules, if a game is stopped and ended before the 75th minute, it is to be deemed incomplete and it will need to be replayed and rescheduled. And The Athletic did some good reporting on this. Apparently, NWSL representatives and league medical staff are in concert made the call for the game to continue after that incident and for everybody to keep playing. And apparently that was due to both league protocols and the fact, I think it seems like it was a deciding factor that Savvy King, they're saying, was in stable condition when she was actually being taken off the field. Now, we don't have any information, any medical information, nor should we, because there's laws around that and it's privacy. So around Savvy King, all we know is that she collapsed. We don't know why or what happened or anything. And that they're saying she was stable when she left the field and that she is stable at the hospital. Fans at the time did not know she was stable when she left the field. Let's just put that out there. That was known much later on. Do you think this game should have been stopped? And do you think the NWSL needs to re-examine this policy?
No, I don't. I know it's scary and it's crazy, and like her teammates and also the opposition teammates probably weren't in the best frame of mind after it happened, but precedent has been set. I know in the men's game when Christian Eriksen went down for Denmark, and that was early, that was in like the 15th minute or something, they stopped, got him treated, took him off, and the game continued, and they played for him. I think, yeah, you may not be in the best frame of mind, but considering it's the 74th minute, you only, had 16 minutes plus stoppage left. Surely you'd want to get that out, done, over, so you can focus on your teammate. Because, let's be honest, that would have been rescheduled for a random weekday in the middle of where you're in completely different.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. And I get what you're saying, where you're like, then all of a sudden it gets added to your schedule. It becomes a disaster. I don't know what the players knew on the field. I don't know what they thought. Obviously, if they knew she was in stable condition, that's a very different prospect, of continuing the game. If they didn't, I thought this when Eriksen went down, I was like, why in the hell are we playing soccer right now? Like, for me, when things like that happen, I'm just like, this doesn't matter. I had a hard time with it when I would have a teammate that would get hurt. Like, I watched a teammate tear her ACL during a game, and I had trouble playing the rest of the game when that happened. She was fine. She was, she tore her ACL, and that sucks, but like, she was going to live. She was okay. I can only imagine something like this happening and trying to continue. I kind of wish they'd maybe ask the players. Maybe that can be part of the protocol now. Like, yeah, the medical representatives and the league representatives, maybe they can make the final call, but maybe it can be written into the bylaws that you can ask the players. Because if I was on that field, I would have said, what's the rule? 75 minutes? Can you just blow the whistle for 60 seconds? We'll just stand here and then we can call game and let this be. I don't know.
Yeah, I was going to say it's a bit different. If it's 74 minutes, then yeah, you could probably work something out. But yeah, it's just a tough one. It is a toughie, but I personally would have just played the game and got it over and done with.
Yeah. The good thing is that she's okay and she's stable. And also, this will force the NWSL to, look and reevaluate some of these policies. It's obviously awful that this happened, but hopefully next time there will be maybe even better protocols that don't make everybody feel weird. Because, yeah, as a fan, I can't watch the end of that game and be like, oh, I hope so-and-so wins, because you just don't care at that point. All right, we can't move on from that game without talking about Angel City won, by the way. They won 2-0. And Kristen Press scored the first goal to put Angel City up 1-0. We talked about Kristen Press last week.
And she did the thing I said to do.
Just score.
I'm taking credit for this because
you mean that the head coach did the thing that you asked him to do.
The head coach did the thing that said, I'm taking credit for this because I said, make her your Rachel Williams, bring her on for the last 30. And she will score. And she was subbed on the 65th minute and scored in the 66th minute.
So Sam Lady, he had said previously he was wrong for not playing her in certain moments. She goes on in the 65th minute, scores in 66. Crazy stuff. And I loved the call by the play-by-play. Vintage Press. That was a vintage Kristen Press goal. Hands down. It was a thing of beauty. I'm happy to see she's clearly getting her groove back. Moving along, Bay FC got smacked at Kansas City this weekend. It was a terrible, terrible time. But before that, I had the opportunity to sit down with the one and only Taylor Huff, who is a rookie for Bay FC. She played at Tennessee and then transferred to FSU for her final 2 years. She's an NCAA national champion, a 3-time All-American. She is an absolute workhorse in the Bay FC midfield. Until this past weekend, she was the only rookie that had played every single minute of the NWSL so far this season. She got subbed off in the 70-something minute this past weekend, so that streak ended. But when I chatted with her, that streak was still well and alive, and we talked about that. So please enjoy this interview with Taylor Huff.
First and foremost, I just wanted to ask how you're liking it in San Jose.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously been a huge change just being on the West Coast. I've lived on the East Coast my whole life. So getting to come and explore and live somewhere else has been so cool, and definitely something that I wanted to get out of my comfort zone in this time period of my life, and I wanted to get out of my comfort zone in that area. So I've been liking it. It's definitely different. So I've been learning a lot, trying to figure out what I like and don't like and try to do different things. But no, I've been enjoying it so far.
Do you guys get into the city at all?
Yeah, a few times. Like, it's hard with off days and everything, but
it's far.
Yeah, I've gone once with my family and then one with a friend and then one on our off day alone. I just went like by a beach just to yeah. I don't know what beach it was, but I was just like driving down and I was going to go into San Francisco. And then I'm like, oh my gosh, this is perfect. Because I was wanting to read anyways. So I was just like, oh, wow, this is great. I just stopped at a beach and ended up my whole day there. So
wonderful.
Yeah.
I think you're at Ocean Beach for the record.
Yeah. But yeah, I've been trying different things and just having a city that close. And I mean, I like San Francisco. Everyone has their own opinion, but I've been enjoying it and just finding little things. Cause I mean, being on the East Coast and especially where I'm from, there's not big cities. I like grew up and living in an area significantly different than here. So it's been fun getting to explore different.
Any favorite spot around San Jose that people should know?
Oh, I really enjoy Santana Row and walking around and just like the people. There's just so many different people there and getting to explore in the evening. I like
that, like the college strip?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
I don't know San Jose. Like you don't know San Francisco. I don't know San Jose at all.
Yeah, Santana Row is cool. I feel like it's definitely cool for me because it's something that I don't really have or know. But for a person who lives in San Jose, they're probably like, that's so not unique. But I like it.
Nice. That's where most of the people are.
Yeah.
All right, I kind of want to go like in chronological order in a way. So before college, and this can be any kind of answer you want. Like it can be the most mundane or like a big moment that stands out. Is there a moment that stands out in your life where you're like, that's where you became serious about soccer?
Yeah, I think there were a few, but one that sticks out to me was just like, I mean, I grew up with two sisters, so like having them to push me was good, but it never really, I didn't really have someone to look up to in my area because I'm from such a small town. So like everyone who lives there like stays there and it's not like you get out. So for me, it was just like always trying to be better than I was the day before, but no real expectation of like going to college and playing college soccer. So for me, it was just like my parents have always ingrained in me like work hard and good things will happen. So just kind of doing that all throughout my young age and just falling in love with the game. But I do feel like when my parents were able to like get me out of my comfort zone and go to Cleveland to play soccer, I feel like that was a huge turning point for me. And just my parents recognizing that I was a good player and they put me on a team that pushed me and I was able to get out of my comfort zone. So just them giving me the ability to play on a team that challenged me and then got me exposure, I feel like changed a lot for me. And then from there, I didn't feel like pressure to like perform or like be a certain way because my parents did this for me, but like they just like were always encouraging me to strive for the next best thing. And that's kind of where I was like, oh wow, like maybe I could play in college, maybe I could play like locally. And then I mean, things just started going well for me in soccer and I had great coaches and I had great people around me. So I honestly feel like the turning point for me was just like my parents seeing that I needed to go somewhere different and they were amazing. They drove me like, I mean, countless miles, countless hours. I had to drive an hour and 15 minutes there, an hour and 15 minutes back. So just, I mean, the commitment from them, if they weren't willing or able to do that, I wouldn't be where I am. And then my siblings have been amazing too, because obviously, if I'm being taken to practice all the time, it's taking away from them. But everyone's just been my number one supporter, so I feel like I'm so grateful for that.
That's awesome. I understand. I actually drove from the city down here a lot for soccer when I was younger. It's just
it's definitely hard.
Yeah, but so I obviously read a little bit about you. Correct me if I'm wrong. It seems like you played other sports in high school.
Yeah,
I feel like it's so rare. Like you were just talking about how you didn't like specialize in soccer even in your mind for a very long time.
Yeah.
Do you feel like that has contributed to you as an athlete, you as a soccer player in a positive, negative way? And why do you think it's so much more rare right now?
Yeah, for sure. And honestly, like I mentor a few like younger girls and they're always like, oh, should I play this? Should I play this? I'm like, do as many sports as you can. Because looking back, me playing sports in high school, it's like, it didn't take away from where I am now and like where I'm. So it's like such a small part, but I feel like made all the difference for my development. I did track and field and then played basketball in middle school and kind of just like did a bunch of different things that I think, I mean, of course, like drew out such a competitive spirit of mine, because in basketball I was like, oh, I was the point guard, so I had to like make decisions, and that translated to on the field because I like to run the midfield now. So it's like you can just see it translate into so many different areas. And then in track and field, I ran the 400 and I developed my endurance. So there's so many different pieces that like in my game you can see now. But if someone weren't to do those sports, or if someone were to just focus on soccer, like if you were to tell me at 13, I was committed to the sport, but it was like I enjoyed other things. I had other outlets where it wasn't soccer was my end all be all, my focus and everything. Where I feel like this in this day and age, kids are being so like decisive with their decision in one sport, which is amazing, but it just adds so much pressure where it's like you don't have another outlet.
Totally. I was going to say, it sounds like it's just like a pressure cooker, and it takes the pressure off to be like, oh, this isn't, all my eggs are not in this basket.
Exactly. The pressure, and just like it takes away the enjoyment at the end of the day, because if everyone's so performance driven, if you're not performing, like where's your other outlet? If I didn't perform in track and field, it was like on me, but if I went to soccer, it was like I had different tools, and I was able to find joy and happiness in sport depending on whatever day it was.
That's so real. I rode the bench in basketball, and it was like very different confidence levels. Yeah. Okay, so you went to Tennessee, transferred to FSU. In whatever words you want to say, I'm curious why you decided to transfer from Tennessee to FSU.
Yeah, I loved my time at Tennessee. It's still one of my favorite cities, Knoxville, to this day. But my first year was amazing. We ended up winning the SEC championship, and it was just like, it made sense. We were on high, and then our coach ended up leaving, Brian, and I ended up staying for that year. And then it just honestly made the most sense for me to just enter the transfer portal and try something new. And so I ended up at FSU, but very thankful that I was able to reconnect with Brian. We just know each other very well, and I feel like he brought the best out of me. So I'm thankful for him, and throughout the journey of knowing him and just being able to play under him was amazing.
I feel like that's so common when athletes go to colleges, and then the college that the coach that actually recruited them leaves. It's very different.
Yeah.
Okay, so the transition from high school to college, and now you're kind of doing the transition from college to pro. What are the similarities and the differences in those transitions? Both of them seem very hard in their own ways.
Yes.
What is there one that's been easier, one that's been hard?
Yeah.
How are those similar, and how are they different?
Yeah, no, I mean, it's definitely difficult when you're in such an environment where you're comfortable, and then it's like you're in another environment. It's like, whoa, what are we doing? So that was kind of me from high school to college. It was difficult. It was difficult being away from home. It was difficult finding new friends and new teammates and tendencies and everything. So there's definitely similar in every way going from college to pro. It's been difficult. It's been hard, especially when you have a family at FSU where and it's your best friends, and then coming here and it's like I know these players are going to be my best friends. I know that they're going to be amazing. I know it's going to be a family, but it takes time, and I feel like that's kind of what I've been going through, and kind of just finding my place. And it's definitely difficult, and I feel like I'm a person, if I'm comfortable with everyone, then I'm more comfortable on the field. So just kind of finding that and trusting the process and the timing that it'll all work out, and it already has been. So just continuing to get more comfortable and trusting that process.
So who do you spend your most time with here at AFC?
Honestly, we have like a good group of girls that hang out, and we do like a Bible study and things together. So I'd say them, and then Carly has been great too. It's easy coming in with someone that's also a rookie and going through the same things, and just being able to kind of talk about it.
Yeah.
And like go through it with has been good, I think.
I was going to ask you how it's been like having Carly by your side, because if I'm correct, you guys didn't actually get to play against each other.
Yeah, no.
But coming in together, having somebody going through the same thing, which I guess not all rookies around the league technically have right now.
Yeah.
And especially it being the first time where it's not like a draft class. Yeah. Has that just automatically bonded you guys?
Oh, yeah, for sure. It was funny, like, because during preseason, it was always like, if you saw Carly, I was always with her. If you saw me, Carly was always with me. So it's like, we were bonded from the beginning, and it's been great to like grow my relationship and friendship with her. She's been great, and it's fun playing on the field with her too.
All right. So you mentioned you wanted to like move away from home, try something different. I wanted to ask why Bay FC, but maybe also on a larger scale, like why the NWSL? A lot of players are going overseas as well. So why NWSL? Why BFC?
Yeah. I think if you would have told me like 2 years ago, I would have been like, no, I'm not going to the NWSL. But I just have so much respect for the higher ups and the way that this league is being transitioned and run. I mean, it's so competitive every game. Any team can win. Whereas, overseas, it's like definitely great talent. But I do feel like it's so competitive here in the NWSL. And I love competition and just being able to compete in each game and get better. I feel like is huge. Obviously, I feel like growing up, it was just always my dream to play overseas. So that was like hard coming out of college and having to make the decision because I always wanted to, but just made the most sense. And then BFC because it just kind of fit, taking different visits and nothing else like really felt right in this, like as soon as I stepped off the plane and just got to know the people and got to know the system and everything. It just honestly like fit right into place. And I knew that this was the place that I was meant to be.
It seems like it's kind of like the recruiting process now.
Oh, for
it's
sure.
like just totally flipped on its head.
Yeah.
Which is wild. Okay, well, this is kind of a very lighthearted one, but as somebody who also wore number 3, I noticed she wore number 3 at FSU.
Yes.
Wearing number 7 now. Was that because Caprice had number 3? What's your number? How'd you land on 7? What's the vibe there?
Yeah. I was honestly always 3 or 13. 13 when I was younger and honestly up until FSU because of Alex Morgan.
I was going to ask you.
Yeah, it was always Alex Morgan. So funny. But yeah, so 13 all the way up and then someone at FSU had 13. So then I was like, okay, I'll be 3. And 3 was actually pretty memorable because one of my good friends from back home, her sister actually passed away and was number 3. So I wore it at FSU for her and just because it was the closest to 13, so just having those 2 to go with. But yeah, can't be 13 or 3 here, so I just went with 7 because 7's a pretty good number, I guess. And
because why not?
I don't mind it.
So kind of like digging more into this season, I don't know if you know this, but you're the only rookie right now that has played all minutes of every game.
Yeah,
it sounds like you did know that.
Yeah.
Your work ethic is super apparent on the field.
Yeah.
It seems like it's something you very much take pride in. You spoke about like the freedom and the trust that this coaching staff has given you, which has been wonderful, it seems. Do you like when people call you like a workhorse?
I mean, I don't mind it. I feel like it just takes me back to my roots and what I've always known and what my parents have ingrained in me. I mean, I'm from a small town where a lot of people don't really have a lot, and it's very much blue collar. It's like you work for what you have. So it's like that's all I've really ever known. I'm just like out there to work hard, and if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, I'm still gonna work hard, and that's always been my mentality. So I do take pride in it. If people want to call me that, that's great. I'll definitely be the one that's probably running and sprinting back. But yeah, I mean, I enjoy it. I enjoy working hard for the team.
How would you describe your style of play? Is it a workhorse or is it a different box to box?
I would say it's more box to box, but I do feel like I have a different side of me that maybe the NWSL and this team hasn't really seen. It's like the technical side. I feel like a lot of our season so far has been defending or having to track back, and I feel like the other side of that is once we get that down is the technical side, where I do like to be the European style technical and possession and creativity. So I feel like that part, along with the work side and being able to track back and have that endurance for 90 minutes too.
I feel like we got to see the technical side a lot last year.
Yeah.
Do you feel like the NWSL is just more transitional right now than the ACC plays?
Yeah. It's been so difficult for me, if I'm being honest, just kind of having to accept what the NWSL is. It's like things might change from game to game, but it's like adapt or you don't. So just adapting to that and finding different ways that I can be creative. But yeah, it's been hard. It's been hard having to play that transitional game when I'm not used to. But again, adapt or die. Yeah, literally that saying, adapt or die. But yeah, I feel like I've had to do that a bit.
Yeah, I feel like anytime I ask somebody about the NWSL, the first word that comes out of their mouth is, oh my gosh, it's so transitional.
Yes.
You run more than you'll ever run in your life.
Yes,
yeah,
for sure.
Okay, that's accurate.
That's very accurate.
Last thing on BFC this year, it's been up and down. It was up and down to start last year too. And they talked a lot last year about like how to stay patient in the locker room, but it's kind of obviously different team, different scenario. It's not the inaugural season. How are you guys staying patient in the locker room?
Yeah. I mean, we have a great group of girls who are very level-headed and great leaders who are leading us. So I feel like that alone keeps the team calm and patient. And I feel like we do a great job at supporting each other, and just at the end of the day, trusting the process, because we know that while each game matters, it's like we're coming off a loss, and it's like you have to accept it and move on and move forward to the next game, because we know how important this next game and each next game is. So I feel like that's our mentality, and just, we remember it and we learn from it and we grow from it, but it's like you have to have a mind that also forgets and just moves on. And I feel like that's what we're trying to press on and press towards. It's like next play, next game, and just having that mentality where it's like we're not where we want to be, but we're also striving to where we want to be, and just kind of pushing through. And it's about taking it day by day, and it's what we do in the trainings. It's like we're talking about today, we play 2 hours a week. That's like everyone focuses on the game, but it's like the process and the trainings that we're focusing on. So just doing the little things, and then if we're doing the little things and the little details, that's going to add up to the 2 hours on the weekend that we're going to perform.
It's a long season. Trust the process. Yep. Easier said than done.
For sure.
All right. I want to talk a little bit about your time with the national team. It seems like the Futures Camp, the first one, was really great for a lot of different reasons. You also got called up to the U23s. I've seen you speak about it. So to ask you, hopefully, a question you haven't got before, in whatever way you want, Emma Hayes is obviously reworking the whole system. It seems like you guys got to spend a little bit of time with Emma Hayes, not like a ton. What would you tell people about Emma Hayes that they maybe haven't heard or don't know?
Oh, man. I mean, she's extremely compassionate and understanding. I feel...
What a wonderful answer. I feel like that's like the best thing she could possibly hear.
I don't know her personally, and I don't have a personal relationship with her, but just hearing her talk about what they're trying to do, I do feel like she has gone through so much and has such an edge to her mind where she is extremely understanding. She's dealt with so many different players with so many different backgrounds and paths that she understands a lot about where people are coming from, and feel like she also kind of takes that and knows how to bring the best out of people. So I feel as if that's like unique and in a way that a lot of people might not necessarily know, or I do have a lot of respect for that, because just like hearing stories and hearing her share, it's like she is very compassionate and understanding, but she also has the edge where it's like she knows how to bring out the best in, which I think is so unique and cool.
Awesome. All right, final two questions I always like to end on. The first is kind of a longer one. The second's like can be like so, curious about a good both and moment from your career where you both worked really hard and then got really lucky and an opportunity came around where you're able to take advantage of.
Yeah, that's good. I feel like I have a few, but I do feel like a lot of it has come down to like me believing that my hard work will pay off and just like hoping for the luck. But yeah, I do feel like when I was younger, more so than now, because now it's like focusing on like recovery and that stuff. But when I tell you that my sibling, like my older sister and I would go outside like after school and just like play for 3 hours, it was like, you don't really realize it in the moment. Like growing up, you're just like constantly like having fun, you know, but that turned into like, oh, my sister didn't come out with me anymore because like she's doing other things, but like you could bet on me being out there juggling. And it came to a point where I'd like push myself so much and do that. And then my parents would like want to watch. I'm like, no, you're not watching. It's like, I'm focusing on myself. So I feel like, yeah, like you were saying, it's like sometimes the luck doesn't happen. And I 100% agree with that. But I do feel like my whole life has just been like head down, focus on you, and good things will happen. And I've gotten lucky a few times, but I do feel like it's just the added hours at the end of the day, because when I tell you I was like average, like I was good growing up, good for my town. But then when you go into like a bigger area, it's like everyone's good. And So I do feel like it was just head down. These people are better than me, but it's what I'm going to do with my time at home. And luckily I grew up on a lot of acres where I was able to go outside and just like kick the ball or juggle or do whatever. So I do feel like it was just like my mentality was head down. It's like no excuses. If they're better than you, it's like, what am I doing to make that up?
Final question. This is just no context. And this is, I won't write about this. This is just for the podcast.
Okay.
World Cup or Olympics?
Oh, World Cup for sure.
Okay.
Obviously, both of them would be amazing, but I just feel like I grew up watching the World Cup, and I mean, the amazing people who came before me. It's like you dream to be in that moment. And growing up watching the men's side, and then obviously the women's have significantly grown, which has been absolutely incredible. So yeah, World Cup for sure.
Right, I lied because this is going to be my last question for you. I guess, so it seems like obviously you haven't done a ton of press, which is weird for the only rookie in the NWSL who has played every single minute.
Yeah.
You seem really comfortable like in an interview, in like the limelight and the spotlight.
Yeah.
What's your relationship with that? Like do you care if you get the accolades? Do you care if you get the spotlight? Or are you kind of like similar to almost like the workhorse mentality?
Yeah.
It's like, you know, I'm here for the team and like, I don't really care.
Yeah. I mean, that's like been my whole life too. It's just like, if it happens, it happens. And if people want to interview me, that's awesome. I'll talk. And I feel like I'm very comfortable talking about it and just like hopefully the value I add. But if not, it's like, again, head down, and people, I try not to like place my value in those things. I think there's so much value in other things, and things that aren't going to change up and down, like stats are going to change and whatever. But it's like, I know my worth. I know my foundation is. So it's like just focusing on that. And if it's going to happen, it's going to happen.
Awesome.
And that is all from us here at the Women's Soccer Show. Just a reminder, please check out our Patreon. We add extra content on there, and it does help keep us going. We have stuff with the other 8. You know, we're planning a couple of special fits and kits that's going to go up there, so make sure you're on there to get your exclusive content.
For those of you Patreon subscribers, you got that Taylor Huff unedited version interview a couple days ago, early and unedited. So plenty of things just like that as well. And for the Women's Soccer Show, I've been Sarah.
And I've been Allie.
Thanks, everybody.
Good night.
This podcast was edited by Monkey Hill Media. Visit monkeyhillmedia.com for more information.